Song Zhong. He's from the Shanghai Wenwei Daily. He's the chief correspondent for their Washington bureau. We saw all these heavy hitters, the acting attorney general, the Homeland Security Secretary, the FBI director, all out there making these announcements just the other day, talking about the company stealing secrets, violating trade sanctions against Iran, committing wire fraud, obstruction of justice. And a lot of people have questions about the timing of this. You know, we've got Vice Premier Liu He arriving this week, and some saying, are these coupled together? I mean, what's the sense? What are you hearing?
I think it's being taken seriously by Chinese side, and some will assume that it's a kind of coordination between different government departments of America. But I will say this might be just coincidence, because it's almost nearing the deadline of the extradition kind of things between Canada and America. They have to make a decision. And also Liu He has been scheduled to visit Washington, D.C. It's been a kind of arrangement weeks ago. I think I will say it's a kind of coincidence, but in Beijing's mind, it's a kind of coordinated kind of actions.
And China urging the U.S. to withdraw this extradition request for Meng Wanzhou. Obviously, it appears that the United States is not listening to that. But what is interesting is we've seen other executives who've gotten on the wrong side of the U.S. when it comes to sanctions. They've been slapped with fines. We've never seen this kind of aggressive treatment in the past. Give me your sense of how this case is being handled, and how do you think this is all going to shake out?
Yeah, I think you're right. This kind of Iran deal, this kind of business have been done by many companies, including a lot of American companies, but we don't see those kind of companies, CEOs, high executives being kind of arrested. So I will say this is kind of a political kind of maneuvering. But from another angle, I think finally Huawei and also Chinese government, they have to find out a way to settle down this legal case. And I think the CFO Meng Wanzhou will sooner or later be extradited to America, but they will have to be a kind of resolution.
Let me ask you about, I mentioned Liu He arriving here with a delegation from China.
Yes.
They'll be talking to Robert Lighthizer, the trade representative of the U.S.,
yes.
and Steve Mnuchin, the Treasury Secretary. We remember, I mean, both of us remember well that Liu He came here before. It looked like they had a deal. He got back to Beijing. Donald Trump said no deal. What's the concern on the part of China coming in terms of good faith negotiations? Because in the past, they've dealt with these types of folks who are on a lower rung other than the President of the United States. It seems like he's the one who makes the decisions.
I think you're right. There was another visit by Liu He last, I think, May, and it was broken immediately after it was reached. So I think China's concern is that how serious has the U.S. been with this trade talks with Chinese side. And I think it's a good thing this time, like this USTR, Lighthizer is together representing U.S. side with Mnuchin. I think that's a good thing. And China is ready to negotiate on those kind of U.S. core concerns, including this structure reforms, even this enforcement issue, together with trade imbalance issue. I think as long as U.S. side is very serious and consistent on their position, I think that there can be a way out.
You're optimistic. That's good to see.
Yes, I think.
All right. Thanks so much for stopping by. I appreciate it.